Welcome back to The Explainer. Let's jump right into this one because wow, what a matchup we just witnessed. If you're someone who absolutely loves that tactical chess match, patient, methodical possession, going head-to-head against ruthless, lightning-fast transitions, then this Group J encounter is basically your perfect case study. We're breaking down exactly how the Netherlands managed to edge out Japan 2-1. And look, this wasn't just your standard game of goals. It was an absolute masterclass in contrasting setups. We're going to dig into the data, the momentum shifts, and pinpoint the exact moments that decided this whole thing.
So, the big question coming out of this clash is a classic tactical dilemma. How exactly did structured passing ultimately overcome quick transitions? It really sets the stage for a clash of two totally distinct but incredibly effective footballing philosophies. On one hand, you've got this methodical, patient build-up utilizing positional play. On the other, explosive, blink-and-you-miss-it transitions that just rely on sheer verticality. Let's see how this actually played out on the pitch.
Act 1. The setup and the clash.
Right from the referee's first whistle, those opening 45 minutes set an amazingly open tone. Both squads came out with clear, undeniable attacking intent, but they were using completely different frameworks to get there. The Dutch, they wanted total control. They were stretching the pitch, working those half spaces, and just patiently waiting for their moment. Japan, on the flip side, played the perfect counterpunch. They relied on really intelligent movement between the lines and these explosive breaks the absolute second the Dutch overcommitted their rest defense. Man, it was just a beautiful clash of styles.
The breakthrough finally happened when that suffocating Dutch pressure picked the lock. They put together a beautifully worked move to go up 1-0. But Japan? No way were they folding. They immediately dialed up their pressing intensity and started forcing these key turnovers in the midfield. And then, right before the halftime whistle, they brilliantly exploited the space behind that high Dutch defensive line with a really sharp vertical sequence. Bam! Stunning equalizer. 1-1. When that halftime whistle blew, the tension was just massive. Both teams had literally perfectly executed their primary game plans. Both found the back of the net, and there we were, stuck in a tactical stalemate, just waiting to see who would blink first in the second half.
Act 2. Tactical adjustments. Coming out of the tunnel for the second half, that wild end-to-end energy we saw early on really started to shift. It turned into a much tighter defensive chess match. And honestly, one word defines the difference maker here: precision. Instead of trying to force passes into a totally congested mid-block, the Netherlands capitalized on sustained pressure. They started executing these really clever build-ups to finish well-worked moves in the final third. It was that exact surgical precision that let them slowly but surely wrestle control right back from Japan.
Here's exactly how they applied that precision to find their winning formula. Step 1, they basically starved Japan of the ball to completely neutralize those terrifying transition moments. By holding possession and keeping a really solid rest defense, they pushed Japan deeper, forcing their wingers back into a low block. From there, it was all about that clever, patient build-up, just waiting, probing the defense for that one inevitable gap to open up. And once it did, they struck to restore their 2-1 lead. Absolute masterclass in methodical attacking.
Act 3. The final stand.
Now, a World Cup match is never over until the final whistle, right? Down a goal with the clock ticking away, Japan had no choice but to throw absolutely everything forward. They unleashed this wave of quick combinations and incredibly dangerous wide play, constantly hitting the Dutch penalty area with intense overloads. But hey, you've got to give massive credit to the Netherlands backline here. They stayed remarkably composed under some serious fire, flawlessly clearing crosses, blocking shots, and just perfectly managing those closing minutes to lock down the win.
When you look at the standout performers, they perfectly mirror that initial tactical comparison we talked about earlier. For the Netherlands, the true star was their midfield. They masterfully dictated the tempo and controlled possession exactly when it mattered most. Conversely, Japan's dynamic attack caused consistent, terrifying problems on the break, bypassing that Dutch midfield almost instantly. It was this perfect counterbalance that just made for an incredibly high-level duel.
So, looking back at the full 90 minutes, we had this incredibly open first half, where both philosophies paid off with goals. Then, the Netherlands made those crucial halftime adjustments to regain control. Japan, to their credit, stayed a constant threat in transition right up to the very end, which forced a really strong, composed defensive lockdown from the Dutch to secure the result.
Actually, I think this official TikTok caption from the tournament hits the nail on the head when it comes to the overall vibe. It reads, "A tight battle in Group J. The Netherlands hold off a strong Japan side to win 2-1 in a fast, technical, and intense World Cup clash."
That pretty much says it all, doesn't it? It gives props to the sheer strength of the Japanese squad, while also highlighting just how technical and intense the Dutch victory was. Literally exactly the kind of drama we tune in for.
And just for the record books, in this massive World Cup 2026 Group J clash, the Netherlands walk away with all 3 points, taking a vital 2-1 victory over a truly formidable opponent.
Which leaves us with this final, kind of provocative thought to take away from our explainer today. As teams continue to adapt to these lightning-fast transitions, is the traditional structured possession game going to remain the ultimate winning formula as we go deeper into the 2026 tournament? I mean, the Dutch proved it works today, but man, those margins are getting razor thin. Keep that question in mind as you watch the upcoming fixtures. Thanks for hanging out with me on The Explainer today. Keep analyzing the game, and I'll catch you for the next breakdown.